Hello again everyone, Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the chart, astrology chart of what I would say at least a near compulsive beeper, and I'm going to elaborate and expound on that. What I'm talking about is somebody that was a prominent family member of mine that used to, she would beep her horn at least nearly, compulsively, when she was driving. When she would do this, okay, say, she's going down the main road, right? And if another car was coming down a side street and, approaching the end of that side street, which connects to the main road, she would beep her horn. I guess she may have been afraid that car was going to crash into her or something. So she would beep, her horn, virtually every time when that instance, would occur. And I'm going to talk about, some placements in her chart, that may be tied into that. Just think it's really, just something a little bit comical, you could say, on this matter, and really, looking at the chart, the first thing, her sun sign is Scorpio. Scorpio, the sun in astrology is connected, is our basic fundamental character, our true self. And Scorpio people, sometimes can be, or at times, or in many instances, I would say, can be very fixated and obsessed with things. It can be very relentless. It sometimes in negative manifestation can be compulsive. It is, or at least, the thing is, when I look at this being, not just having the sun in Scorpio, the fact her sun makes a square to her Pluto, certainly doesn't help matters. Pluto in domineering Leo. And another thing, and she also had the Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, and the Black Moon Lilith, as many of you may know, that is connected, with the negative manifestation or expression of the zodiac signs. And the thing also too is what I noticed, some obscure aspects in her chart. Okay, she had Uranus and Gemini making a square to her third house cusp, and some of you may wonder, well, what would that have to do with somebody, beeping their horn nearly compulsively and incessantly? Well, first off, Uranus and Gemini, though generational by itself, can, I would say, can give some, idiosyncratic behavior in some instances that's connected with short journeys and driving. Then you have the square to the third house cusp, and the third house cusp is associated with short journeys and driving, local transportation. And she has the third house cusp in worrisome Virgo. And when you have the square from, Uranus, which can, Uranus is connected with what's unusual and bizarre, making a square to the third house cusp, that could indicate some, greater propensity for something unusual associated with driving, because you're talking about a square aspect. It's a negative relationship between the energies, in this case Uranus and the third house cusp. Now, another, what you could consider an obscure aspect that she had was, she had Mars in Cancer. Mars is in its fall in Cancer, and it's at the 29th degree, critical degree, and it's making a semi-square aspect to the third house cusp, again, of driving. Mars is connected with our actions, and when you have that, making, the semi-square to the third house cusp of driving, you're talking about, even though, semi-square is a minor aspect in astrology, it's still an adverse aspect. You're talking about the negative relationship with the actions being connected with Mars, and then to the third house cusp, which is associated with short journeys, local transportation, and driving, again, in worrisome Virgo. And Virgo can be very, apprehensive and again, very, anxious, very worrisome. So I think when you look at this is something where, you have, this energy, for at least near compulsive driving. The thing is, I used to, joke with her. I think I nicknamed her Miss Beeps was my nickname for her. I mean, some of you that really know me, well, from, very few of you that are watching this video really know me that well, but the few that may, understand, I have a nickname for virtually everybody, and, I mean, with her, there was no exception. Some of you may also wonder, well, Edwin, how is this story, can it be beneficial or advantageous to me? Well, simple answer is this. Now, if you have anybody, a close, friend or prominent family member, that beeps their horn incessantly or nearly compulsively, maybe you could look in their chart and see if they have any, aspects or placements comparable to what I described with this person, that was notorious for beeping her horn. So, that's, I guess that would be how it could be relevant to you. And I just wanted to thank those out there that were willing to listen to me on this very, provocative, very profound, subject matter. I really enjoyed, telling about this story, and I procrastinated on it for some time, but I finally decided to just, actually do it, and, just such a breakthrough, in astrology. I think this kind of a video on this subject matter probably is historical. This may never have been, subject may not have been talked about before. It would be rather, again, not to be redundant, but an obscure, subject in astrology. And I'm glad, to take part in this, with my beloved audience, my loyal and steadfast fans of my astrology videos. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.